Hi everyone, welcome to Easy Coding. Today we are going to discuss about most frequently asked questions of AC 900 exam. In this video we are going to discuss 25 questions from the AC 900 exam. And one more thing, I have attended DP 900 exam last weekend and I scored 900. So I'll be sharing all those questions and details in the coming sessions. It's a simple exam. I have prepared for that around 2 hours. So you can easily pass that exam. And for the theory part, we are on the part 3 of the AC 900. So I'll be updating all the rest of the sessions in the coming videos. Sorry for the delay in the video uploading since I'm working. So I'm doing all these things in the weekends. So I'll try my best to deliver all the knowledge which I have. And I'll try to reply for all your mails. And thank you so much for the support. So let's go with the 25 questions. So let's start with the first question. To which of the following category does the Azure Virtual Machine Service falls under? So there are 3 categories: Infrastructure as a Service, Platform as a Service, Software as a Service. The correct answer is Infrastructure as a Service, since the virtual machine is nothing but infrastructure as a service. And here the physical infrastructure is managed within Azure itself. So this falls under the Infrastructure as a Service. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. A company is planning on hosting a set of virtual machines on Azure platform. They want to ensure traffic is encrypted when being sent from the virtual machine to the internet. Can the company use the tools on virtual machine to encrypt the traffic? So we have 2 options, yes or no. It is true. So here the right option is yes, because you can use tools or inbuilt services on the virtual machine itself to encrypt the traffic. For example, if you are hosting Internet Information Services on a Windows machine, you can use the SSL feature on Internet Information Services to encrypt the traffic that flows out of the virtual machine. So the answer is yes. Let's move on to the third question. A read-only log has been placed on a resource in a resource group in Azure. Which of the following statement is true with regards to log? So we have 4 options here. That is, only the global administrator can modify the resource. Only the service administrator can modify the resource. An Azure policy can be applied to modify the resource. The log must be removed before anyone can modify the resource. The right answer is fourth one, that is, the log must be removed before anyone can modify the resource. Because after a log has been placed, the only one way to remove the log is to delete the log. So let's move on to the question number 4. A company has started using Azure by setting up an account and a subscription. They want to ensure that resources can only be created in a region in the country where their office is located in. Which of the following can help them fulfill this requirement? So we have logs, management groups, conditional access policies, and an Azure policy. The right answer is an Azure policy, because with the Azure policies you can actually enforce rules on creation of resources in Azure. So the right answer is an Azure policy. Let's move on to question number 5. Which of the following term can be related to the following statement? A cloud service that has the capability to remain available even after a fault occurs on the underlying infrastructure. So we have 4 options: disaster recovery, low latency, fault tolerance, and dynamic scalability. The right answer is fault tolerance, because if a cloud service or application has the capability to remain available even if a fault occurs, means that the cloud service or application is fault tolerant. So if it remains available, that means it is fault tolerance. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 6. Which of the following term can be related to the following statement? A cloud service that has the ability to remain available even after the region failure. The 5th question was even after the underlying infrastructure. This is even after a region failure. The options are disaster recovery, low latency, fault tolerance, and dynamic scalability. So the right answer is disaster recovery, because if a cloud service or application has the capability to remain available in case of a region-wide failure, that means that the cloud service or application has disaster recovery capabilities. So the right answer is disaster recovery. So let's move on to the seventh question. Which of the following term can be related to the following statement? A cloud service that can adapt and perform properly even when the load on the service increases. So we have four options, that is disaster recovery, low latency, fault tolerance and dynamic scalability. So the right answer is dynamic scalability, because if the service can perform as it should even if the load or demand increases, that means the service can scale dynamically based on the demand. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 8. Which of the following term can be related to the following statement? A cloud service that has fast response times over the internet. So we have three options, that is disaster recovery, low latency, fault tolerance and dynamic scalability. So the right answer is low latency, because if a cloud service offers low latency, that means response from the service can travel much faster and then you have higher response time. So that's the right answer, low latency. Now let's move on to the ninth question. That is, a company wants to implement a hybrid cloud model. Would they need to migrate all of their infrastructure from their private cloud to achieve this purpose? That's no, because they want to introduce hybrid cloud. What is hybrid cloud? It's a combination of private and public. So the right answer is no. Let's move on to the next question, that is question number 10. A company wants to implement a hybrid cloud model. Can they simply extend their computing resources from their internal network to the public cloud? Yes, it's possible. So the right answer is yes. Many cloud providers such as Azure have the capabilities for companies to extend their infrastructure from their on-premise, that is from their private network, to the Azure. So let's move to the next question, that is question number 11. So a company wants to set up an Azure account along with a subscription. Is a Microsoft account required to set up subscription? Yes, we need a Microsoft account to set up a subscription. So let's move on to the question number 12. A company is planning on setting up an Azure free account. Is standard support included as part of the Azure free account? No, because standard supports needs to be purchased separately. So let's move on to the question number 13. A company is planning on setting up an Azure account and a pay-as-you-go subscription. Is support for MSDN forums only allowed for companies that have a pay-as-you-go subscription? That is no, the MSDN forum is free resource and is not tagged to a subscription. So the answer is no. And let's move on to the question number 14. A team wants to try out an Azure service which is currently in private preview. Would the team needs to use separate Azure portal or to try out the service in private preview? So we have two options, yes or no. The answer is no, because services in private preview can be accessed using the Azure portal itself, and you don't need a separate portal to try this out. So the answer is no. Let's move on to the next question, that is question number 15. To which of the following category does the Azure SQL database service falls under? So we have three options: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service and software as a service. The right answer is platform as a service, because the platform as a service allows you to host a database. Here the database engine and the infrastructure are managed. Let's move on to the next question, that is question number 16. Which of the following is correct term for the process of verifying users' credentials? And the right one is authentication, because the process of authentication involves the use of checking the user's credential. So obviously the answer is authentication. Let's move on to the next question, that is 17. A company is planning on deploying a set of virtual machines using Azure Resource Manager templates, that is ARM templates. The IT security department does not want to expose the credentials of servers in the template. Which of the following service can be used for this concern? So we have Azure Multi-Factor Authentication, Azure Security Center, Azure Conditional Access Policies and Azure Key Vault. The right answer is Azure Key Vault, because you can store the credentials as secret in the Azure Key Vault service. So the templates can then refer to the secrets in the Key Vault. So this would ensure that the credentials are not exposed in the template. So the right answer is Azure Key Vault. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 18. A company is planning on hosting a set of virtual machines on the Azure platform. They want to ensure traffic is encrypted when being sent from the virtual machine to the internet. Can the company use network security group to encrypt the traffic? Network security group means NSG to encrypt the traffic. That is no. The answer is no, because network security groups can only be used to restrict network traffic based on the rules. So it can't be used to encrypt the traffic. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 19. A company is planning on hosting a set of virtual machines on the Azure platform. They want to ensure traffic is encrypted when being sent from the virtual machine to the internet. And can the company use the Azure firewall service to encrypt the traffic? We have two options. The right answer is no, because the Azure firewall service can be used to protect your infrastructure against internet based attacks, that is to protect our infrastructure from the attacks, but it can be used to encrypt the traffic. So the right answer is no. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 20. A company wants to use a service in public preview and deploy the subsequent resources to their production environment. Can the company deploy a service in public preview to a production based environment? We have two options, yes and no. The right answer is yes, because services in the public preview can be deployed to a production based environment, but this is not recommended since there is no SLA for services in the public preview. SLA means service level agreement. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 21. A company wants to use a service in public preview. Do services released in public preview have an SLA attached to them? So we have two options, yes and no. The right answer is no, because services in public preview don't have an SLA attached to them. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 22. A company has a set of resources deployed to Azure. Due to an extended service outage, one of the resources deployed by the company has become unavailable for an extended period of time. Which of the following would be done by Microsoft in this case? We have four options. Microsoft will refund the amount due to the unavailability period to the company's bank account. Microsoft will automatically move the resources to another subscription. Microsoft will credit the company's bank account. Microsoft will provide Azure credits that can be redeemed. So the right answer is Microsoft will provide Azure credits that can be redeemed. So in the event that Microsoft is at fault for not providing the required SLA for their services, so they will provide Azure credits which can be redeemed. So let's move on to the next question, that is question number 23. A company is planning on using Active Directory Premium. Would Microsoft guarantee an SLA of 99.99% for Active Directory Premium? So the right answer is yes, because Microsoft guarantees at least 99.99% availability for both Active Directory Basic and Premium services. So let's move on to the question number 24. A company is planning on using Active Directory Free Edition. Is the SLA guarantee for the Active Directory Free and Basic Edition the same? So we have two options. The right answer is no, because Microsoft guarantees at least 99.9% availability for Active Directory Basic and Premium services. So not for Active Directory Free Edition. So it's a giving for Active Directory Basic and Premium services, not for the Active Directory Free Edition. So let's move on to the final question of this video, that is, your company is planning on creating resources in Azure. The resources will be used across multiple departments. The company wants to ensure that billing reports are available department wise. Which of the following can be used to achieve this requirement? So we have four options, that is tags, templates, logs and policies. The right answer is tags, because by using tags across your resources, you can actually get billing reports based on the tags. You can add tags based on the different departments in your company. So we can add tax for that billing purpose. So the right answer is tax. So we have covered overall 25 questions in this video. I have around 200 most frequently asked questions. The questions would be from that only. So you can learn from that. So this is a part 1 video. So we will discuss the remaining questions in the next videos. So thank you for watching.